So I've done another book haul. I'm going to try to keep this one short. I ended up going out of town by about 2 hours or so out of town, but it was a very busy city. I knew I was going to take a long time getting through traffic. So I opted to just look for thrift shops on the way back so I could kill time 1 hour at a time. I went to 3 of them as I crept towards the highway entrance so I could make my way back. And you know what? I was going to lose the time anyways in traffic, most like, because it was after 5 p.m. work hour, all that nonsense in the metropolitan area. I had to get back into the countryside. And anyways, so I went to 3 thrift shops along the way. They were about 15 minutes apart. And I thought it was crazy because in these bigger cities, there's more of these thrift shops closer together, but they have less selection. That's probably because there's more of these thrift shops closer together. But that being said, there's way more people in these cities. In any case, we're going to jump into the first book right here. It's not really a book. It's actually a comic or a graphic novel. But you can immediately see the camera's not busted. It's actually printed backwards because it used to be a manga. It's The Witcher Ronin by Dark Horse. And it used to be a manga that they converted into a graphic novel format. So still the manga flipping, aka the backwards reading, bigger page format. Art is very nice. I like the line work in here. Very sparse on the dialogue. Anyways, I haven't read it yet, of course. I don't know where this falls, and there's likely a different Witcher, I would imagine, in a different part of the world. In any case, if anyone's familiar with it, let me know. It was $6.49. Graphic novels in perfect condition. Just put a plastic sleeve around it, put it in my collection. I'm gonna be a happy soul. Still keep in the theme. I got very lucky because I had found one of the Witcher books and of this format. I don't know how many of these different trade design dresses that they have. This has it's not really a sticker. It's kind of in the cover of this Netflix thing right here. In any case, so that's probably new. There's different versions of this printing, I'm sure. In any case, it's a perfect book. It looks like it wasn't even read. I mean, the pages are white. They're crisp. The spine has no creases in it. And we've got the Sword of Destiny. Book number doesn't say right there. I have one that says book number 1. This one says Tales of the Witcher, I see. So it's not really in the sequence. It's, I guess, a collection of short stories, which I'm kind of excited about. Based on that list right there, it looks like it's the second book, but again, that's confused me. I've been going to these thrift shops for about a year now, and I found The Blood of Elves a while ago during some road trip, and then I'd never seen them, or I've seen one, but it was in terrible condition. In any case, this one is Sword of Destiny, and it looks like it's the second book in the collection, even though Blood of Elves has a 1 on this little corner here. But again, this is a collection. Andres Sapkowski. I'm sorry, I'm butchering the name. I don't know how to pronounce the name, okay? Anyways, I got very lucky because at that thrift shop, there was a second Witcher book and also in perfect condition, spine perfect, pages perfect, everything perfect. Holy crap, I got very lucky here. There's one page here that has a little bit of a bend. Okay, two pages with the corners bent. In any case, it's also got the Netflix non-sticker here on the cover, but for all intents and purposes, my God, it's a perfect book. Crazy, right? Crazy. So now I have 3 of them. This one is The Time of Contempt. Where does this fall? I mean, on this list, it's number 4. But that's what's crazy. That's what's messing me up. Man, where's my other Witcher book? That's it. You see? Blood of Elves. Blood of Elves also with a non-sticker on it. Anyways, 1. There's 1. There's 1 on the damn spine. 2 on the spine. Collection. But anyways, this is like 2 on the list though. Folks, I'm very confused. About how these Witcher books are organized. In any case, I love the fact that these are literally in perfect condition. Perfect condition. And it was the series I wanted. I would have paid a fortune for these. Like, the pages are white, everybody. This is crazy. Man, anyways, I've been wanting to read these for years. I played the first Witcher game, I think, in 2018. Witcher 2, I think I played 2018, 2019 era. I tried to start Witcher 3 twice now. I mean, I did start it twice, but I stopped about 10, 12 hours in. Very big game, very long commitment. I would love to do it as a Let's Play on this channel. Now that everything is one channel, I can talk about this stuff and it all makes contextual sense to the audience that's here. Now you get some context around my other hobbies that they do intermingle like this. And so it's kind of exciting to talk about it all together because I get to have this community sort of give me a feedback loop on this kind of stuff. I will eventually start Witcher 3 again. At this point, I've started over twice, and so I might start reading the books before I jump into Witcher 3. I'm not sure if that matters or not. I'm just saying that's an option now because I got 3 books now. I could start with Blood of Elves, I guess. I'm not sure the reading order. I might have to look that up, or someone's going to have to help me along the way. We're going to move on. I found another book that is co-written by Stan Lee. So we got a Stan Lee here, a Stuart Moore, and an Andy Tong. The Zodiac Legacy. This is a YA book. As far as I know, it does have Disney on the logo there, so I'm assuming that would have to be true. There's a cool print there. See the tiger kind of shining through the light there. That's kind of nice. Anyways, this was called Convergence. Maybe they meant to do a whole series of these. Now, Stan Lee passed away roughly around when this series came out. What is the printing of this book? I felt like I was looking up a list of books like prose that Stan Lee had a hand in, and it looked like they were all at the tail end of his life, unfortunately. This says 2015, so there's still a couple years in there, but in any case, I'm kind of happy to have it. I'd love to just see what the writing style was and what the ideas were like in this. See what it's like. I don't know. I would imagine this would turn into a Disney Plus streaming show at some point or something like that. Maybe that they had a plan for that. They had some. I'm not sure. I'm inventing stuff at this point. If anyone knows anything else about the Zodiac Legacy, let me know. It says, when 12 magical superpowers are unleashed on the world, the Chinese-American teenager named Steven will be thrown into the middle of an epic global chase. He'll have to master strange powers, outrun dangerous mercenaries, and unlock the mysteries of the Zodiac. This feels like it would be a streaming show, or CW thing or something like that, doesn't it? Move on to the next one. A massive collection I've been hunting down is all the Ian Rankin books. There's over 40 of them. I'm probably at the 75% plus mark at this point. Again, I've been going to the thrift shops for about a year, and so it's all been thrift shop collecting along the way across all of Ontario, and it's kind of going better than I thought, all considering, because there were a lot of books, and I've caught up on a lot of the current ones even that I found used, and so yeah, can't go wrong. Again, it's yellowing pages, but the spine isn't creased yet. It's still a relatively decent condition book. There's some dings and dents on the front cover and stuff like that, but who cares? I guess for these books, I just kind of want to enjoy them, and it's a collector habit is upon me when it comes to Ian Rankin. Anyways, you got The Dark Remains. This is a co-written novel by William McIlvaney and Ian Rankin. I think I don't have my spreadsheet up, but I think there's a few of these, maybe 4. I'm not sure. I might be making that up. There's a couple books where there's co-written, and I'm not sure the character focus in these ones, but The Dark Remains, in any case, is off the list. Next one. I ended up finding another Ian Rankin one, Dead Souls. So, Chunky Boy, I've got a couple of these trade dress ones here where there's like the old man wrinkle spines going on here. It's red, but the book is still in relatively good condition. The pages are all straight. I mean, there's some, stains and stuff like that going on, but the cover is in pretty decent condition. It's got the kind of the half soft touch, I suppose, not quite matte, but not quite soft touch on it. Feels good though, and it's one of those chunky ones. I like this format of the Ian Rankin books right now. The hardcovers, I feel like I've started reading some hardcovers. They're kind of hard to read sometimes. They're uncomfortable, man. So there you go, another Ian Rankin book, and I mean the text is really large in here. So I think that these will fly when I start actually reading the Ian Rankin books. And I think I got like something like maybe a straight run of 20 back to back at this point that are in the collection. So I'm literally. I literally think there's probably a dozen left on my list that I have to collect. So I'm kind of excited to have gotten this far after 1 year. I'm about 11 months into my collection runs. It's been a great run. Let me move these over. Right, so another author I have just started recently. I just started the Malazan series. I finished the book 1, Guardians of the Moon, Steven Erikson. I found a book that was not part of that series. It was part of some... I don't know. Can I see it from here? I'm in the dark right now. It says Forge of Darkness is the one I found maybe a month or 2 ago. And now I found The Devil Delivered and Other Tales. And the book is in perfect condition. I got really lucky. I saw the name on the spine. I was like, wait, Steven Erikson, that's a really thin book. That can't be one of the Malazan books because those are chunkies. And I'm missing 3 of the 10 of the original set. Some of them are the bigger format ones, and then some of them are the mass market paperback. Maybe one day I'll collect them all with the same trade dress. But right now, I just want to kind of once in a while, I'm going to pick up one of those books and truck on through it. But these ones are intriguing to me because they sort of stand alone. And I've just recently discovered he writes stuff beyond the Malazan. I was like, oh my God, that might be a rabbit hole I might find myself slipping into, but I really do need to control myself. Well, when it's a thrift shop, you can't really control anything. If you see the book, you buy it. If you see the book, it's not on your list, you buy it, and then you think about it later, especially when they're in perfect condition like this. That's crazy. For $5, for $4.50, that's crazy. That's crazy. So another one of those down. Now I got another one. I'm not sure why I got this. I think it's because I needed to get, there's a whole buy 4, get 1 free. I got to a point where I just need to bring something else home because I had to get it free. I had to get it free. So this is a $7 one. This is Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with this book. It is thick. And of course, it is in perfect condition. And I figured, you know what? I'm just going to get it. I think I looked up a quick review because the book looked nice. I mean, the cover has a bit of a soft touch on it. It's just a nice design. It's clean. And it was a perfect looking book. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it for free anyways, or one of these for free of this 5. And so I'm going to give it a shot. I think I looked it up on Google real quick on my phone just to see the rating. And it was over 4 stars. So summary here on the front flap says, England, 1882. In Victorian London, 2 children with mysterious powers are hunted by a figure of darkness, a man made of smoke. I see, I hadn't read that in the store, but had I just read the synopsis, maybe I would have gotten it. I saw the title. I bought the book for the cover. Okay, I looked up the review, 4-point-something stars. I'm like, okay, we'll go. There's a 16-year-old Charlie Ovid, despite a brutal childhood in Mississippi, doesn't have a scar on him. His body heals itself, whether he wants it to or not. Marlowe, foundling from a railway freight car, shines with a strange bluish light. He can melt and mend flesh. When a jaded female detective is recruited to escort them to safety, all 3 begin a journey into the nature of difference and belonging and the shadowy edges of the monstrous. And there's more across the back sleeve and whatnot. But anyways, that's already, that premise, actually intriguing. Actually very intriguing. Is anyone familiar with Ordinary Monsters, a novel by J.M. Miro? Anyone familiar with this author in particular? Should I be looking up more Miro books along the way? I bought the book by its cover. Let's move on. We have Beyonders, A World Without Heroes by Brandon Mull. Another one of those books. I likely needed 2 of them in this run because I'm looking at this cover going, I know nothing about why I would have picked this up. Looked like it had a cool guy on the cover. That's it. Brandon Mull. Anyone familiar with this series? Is it part of a series? Are you familiar with this book, Brandon Mull? Are you familiar with the author? Does this have a write-up on the inside? It does. Jason Walker has often wished his life could be a bit less predictable until a routine day at the zoo ends with Jason transporting from the hippo tank into a strange, imperiled world. Very random to me right now. Lyrian is full of dangers and challenges unlike any place Jason has ever known. The people live in fear of their malicious wizard, Emperor Maldor. The brave resistors who once opposed Maldor have been bought off or broken, leaving a realm where fear and suspicion prevail. In his search for a way home, Jason meets Rachel, who is also mysteriously drawn to Lyrian from our world. Jason and Rachel become entangled in a quest to piece together the word of power that can destroy the Emperor and learn that their best hope to find a way home will be to save this world without heroes. A junior library guild selection. So YA novel seems like a pretty generic, outside of the hippo tank transporting to another world kind of trope going on here. Anyways, YA, anyone familiar? Let me know. It was a random pickup. I was putting this aside because I was like, if I start going down this rabbit hole, I know it's akin to Ian Rankin stack because of just how prolific this author is. But I had to know what the writing style was like. And so I got myself a Dean Koontz. This is 3 complete novels. We got The House of Thunder, Shadowfires, and Midnight in this one right here. And it is chunky because, of course, it's 3 different novels. Anyways, perfect-ish condition. I figured, you know what? It's 3 novels for the price of one. $4.50 for 3 novels. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right? Even if I don't enjoy it, I'm still going to read it and find out what it's like. It says complete and unabridged as well, which, I'm kind of grateful for. Sometimes reprintings, they remove things out of the books, etc., for whatever reason. So anyways, if anyone's familiar with Dean Koontz's writing, he's prolific. That's all I know. So he must sell books. You know what I mean? But I'm always apprehensive with prolific writers sometimes too, because I feel like if they're just pushing them out, do they all just start sounding generic or something like that? But hey, that can still be a cool little romp, like a little casual romp through some escapism, and you don't have to overthink and get over creative. Just tell a good story, have some cool characters, move a reader through it so that they enjoy their evening or something like that. All good. But I also found a second one. I found a second collection, folks. It's not of the same design. It's not the same publisher, but it's another 3-in-1 novel for $4.50. And so there you go. We got Shattered, Whispers, and Watchers. These are absolutely not in order. I ended up trying to put a list together of the Dean Koontz novels so I could keep an eye on books that I might see and that I might want. But in this particular case with Dean Koontz, maybe I should read one of these before one of the stories or all 3 of one of these collections before I start going down the Dean Koontz rabbit hole, because there are a lot of books that they're always there. There's so many of them. It's one of those authors where their books are just in terrible condition because people read the hell out of them, you know what I mean? So anyways, it's a pretty decent collection all told. Yellowed pages, but it looks good. My God, the text is actually really small on these big pages. So probably going to be a difficult read on the eyes, but for all intents and purposes, hey, my first 6 Dean Koontz novels, hopefully it works out. gonna grab this big one. It's heavy. It was fun. It was one. I forget where I was with this one. I think I might have only found 5 books at this place, but I found this one right here. Cool, right? Folk and Fairy Tales of Azeroth. And it's so cool. It's got like the gold. Is it gilded? Is that what they call it? Gold gilded pages. Got a bookmark. I mean, come on, man. Blizzard book, right? With but it's like it's all the lore that you might, I guess, that you come across in the game itself. You know, like you find those things that talk about lore. And I'm like, why not? You know what? I just flipped through this for the first time right now with all of you. Now, maybe it's just my luck, but I expected a lot more art in this than I got. There's a couple full pages in here, but really, I mean, there's that one. But for a book from a video game that has a lot of art assets, you'd think that they would have put a lot of art assets in here, right? But look how all long I've been flipping through this and there's no art. You'd think I would have flipped through this in the store. I didn't. Anyways, that wouldn't have changed my mind. It was the most expensive book I got in all of these stores. It was $8.50. I know that's still not super expensive. It would have been $35 American. So that would have been like a $50 book in Canada. In any case, I love these kinds of books in my collections. And I do want to kind of revisit. I know I was playing World of Warcraft from 2005 to 2011 or something like that. And, you know, I loved the beginning of my experience in any case. Then I had to kind of quit gaming in general just because I was a little bit too addicted. Anyways, we're gonna move on. But anyways, I miss the stories and the lore that came from the setting, and I'm wondering if they go into the newer stuff or if it's just like the older stuff. I had to get it. I saw it. I had to get it. And because it's in like perfect condition, it's in perfect condition. How can I say no to this? Crazy. Someone's loss is my gain, I suppose. Next, found another book in the Robert Jordan series, The Wheel of Time. I got book 11, Knife of Dreams. So I don't remember how many of these I have. Can I see them in the dark in my shelf out there? I cannot. I don't remember. The books I've gotten have all been in the past book hauls. In any case, it's in perfect condition. Anyways, white pages. I'm saying that a lot because I got really lucky in these spots, man. $8 used. Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan, Tor Fantasy Edition, and talk about it now. We got Lord of Chaos as well, book 6 of the Wheel of Time. Bam. So there you go, another Tor Fantasy book, perfect condition. Okay, and there you go. I love it. I can't wait to get into this series. I know it's massive. I guess I've been hearing some booktubers talk about just like why this is maybe there's like the middle spot gets maybe a little slow or something like that. I know nothing about the series. Let's just jump in, get into a world, escape a little bit. Does this one have a map as well? They all have maps on the front cover. That's amazing. Anyways, I can't wait to start this series just to see what it's all about. I've already told the story. It was one of the first epic fantasies that I could have started reading back in, 1995. My friend lent me his book, and I ripped all of the cover except for 1 inch. I felt guilty about it, but we moved on. We moved on from that. So the Wheel of Time, I got 2 books. Excited to add to my collection at this point and see where I'm at. But I still think there's a long way to go. These ones aren't as common to spot as I would imagine, just because it feels prolific. I just realized they're Tor Fantasy, but they're not the same spine design. Could be bothersome for some folks, including me, but I got them for such a good price that I don't care. I just want to read the books. Next, something I've had to get used to, though, for sure. I mean, I would never, if these were getting bought new, there's no way I would have accepted different spines, you know what I mean? I ended up seeing a lot from this particular author here. So the last 6 books are all from this author. I hope he's good. I did a quick recon on Google and Goodreads and whatnot just to see what the star ratings were like for these books. They were in the 4 range, 4 point something, 4.2-ish. I don't think I've seen any, maybe somewhere at the 3.8 mark. I'm not sure. Anyways, 4 average is what I remember taking away. I don't know if these are in order, but it's this author, Jack White. This one's called The Eagle. And again, because the books are in perfect condition, you see the theme of this haul, and so I had to get it. And now I wish I had my list in front of me so I knew whether or not these were part of the same series. I'm almost certain this one would be part of the same series here. So we got, the heck does that word say? Clothar the Frank. I'm gonna say it's Clothar the Frank. I mean, this feels like it's the same trade dress, right? It has the same ribbons at the top and stuff like that. I mean, if they're not exactly the same, the spines are a little bit different there as well. But yeah, from the looks of it, we got also by Jack White, we got A Dream of Eagles, The Skystone, The Singing Sword, The Eagle's Brood, The Saxon Shore, The Sorcerer Volume 1, and The Sorcerer Volume 2. And we've got Uther. So I'm not sure which are part of what series. I know I've already put a bunch of Jack White's books on my spreadsheet so I can track which ones are part of what series, because I also got this one here, Knights of the Black and White, Jack White. This one says it's book 1 of the Templar trilogy, so this one's actually explicit. The other ones I don't believe are, or I can't see it. Anyways, so that's book 1. So at least I can get started on one of his books just to see how he writes and what it's like. But it does look like they're like era Are they fantasy? I don't know, but it's at least a historical fantasy, possibly, because they all seem to have this like medieval theme about them, or like, you know, Saxon. I like these books in particular, the Saxon Shore. It's got these toothy pages on them. I love the feeling of it, like I've said over and over again. These are paperbacks, but they got the same like trim here like these other ones I've shown, right? So I'm thinking, I don't know, part of the same era, same characters, possibly, regions, things going on. Anyone familiar with Jack White and these series? And I wouldn't have picked all of these up if I hadn't found so many of them, you know. And so I found the 2 Sorcerer books as well. And as I read online real quick when I was researching these to see if I was going to bring them home with me, is that these were one book, but they got split into 2 books, I think, in North America. So I think the UK prints these as the Sorcerer, and that's it, which would make sense. I'm not sure why they split this in 2, but they did. Anyways, we got the Metamorphosis, and we got the Fort at River's Bend. And why not? Hey, looks like it could be a fun read. I'm not sure. Anyone familiar? They're like $5 each. Can't go wrong, right? And I got all of these at the same place, so I was like, well, I'm going to leave this place with 10. I think that's where I had to do like the Dean Koontz's and stuff like that, right? Because these alone were like, oh, damn, I got 6. Now I got to find 4 more. And I probably did a 1 hour round in there just to kind of, just to be able to pull that off. But hey, I don't mind doing it. It's just sometimes I'll have to bring home some randos along the way. Came out weird. I'm talking about books. Anyways, so there you go. That's the book haul for this time around. 3 different thrift shops that I went to along the way. I forget how much. I'm not doing the whole money calculation thing at this point. It's just about 80% off at the end of the day. I'm getting about 80% off of the cover price for these, especially if I find them in as good condition as I generally find them in. I've got really lucky on these particular hauls. Bigger cities, probably more rotation on their stock of books, but they're harder for me to get to. And so I want to do this video because I want to get these on my shelf, get these organized and get them cataloged. Is that the right word? Organized in my spreadsheet so that I can do another thrift shop run in a couple weeks because I'm going back out of town. So of course, when I'm out of town, I'm already on the road. I might as well hit another thrift shop, look for some more books, and I'll bring them back here so I can talk about them. And if anyone knows anything about the authors that I mentioned here, the books or the series and whatnot, and you want to leave a comment, please do so in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next haul. Don't forget to explore, engage, and aspire. Ready? Peace.